Hello and welcome to Symbols and Secrets, the podcast dedicated to mind, mystery, and magic. Your host is a 20-year veteran performer who has traveled the world entertaining corporate and college audiences of all kinds. Here he is, Jonathan Pritchard.
Thank you, Malcolm, for that wonderful introduction, and great to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Welcome to the show. My goal for this podcast is to help you create more amazing experiences for your audiences and maybe even make a living at it. We do that by having conversations with the world's best performers and thinkers in the field of magic, and this week it is no different. I am really excited to share this conversation with you because it's somebody that I've admired and respected for a really long time, and it is an absolute honor and privilege to have him on the show. So without further ado, Mr. Jeff McBride.
This is Jeff McBride in Las Vegas at the Magic and Mystery School.
I am super excited to have you here because back when I was thinking about starting a podcast for magicians, mentalists, mystery workers, and I stumbled upon Symbols and Secrets, you're kind of the patron saint of this podcast, unofficially, without your permission. You're the person I was thinking of when I thought about what I wanted it to be. Because over the years, you're one of those magicians that has the daring to say that magic is real and mystery has a place in life. So I would love to hear you share your thoughts on what secrets are worth keeping.
Secret keeping, there are those that say that the word secret and the word sacred came from the same source. If you look back on the language, and at Mystery School, we really feel that the real secrets of magic are not necessarily on DVDs or lectures or books, that the real secrets of magic are handed down from master to student in whispers. And that a lot of the teachings that were passed on to me were passed on by my teachers and mentors, Eugene Berger, and also Channing Pollock spent a lot of time here at the Magic and Mystery School, Johnny Thompson. Mystery School was conceived because we wanted to spend time with illuminated masters of the art who are not just, illusionists or, card guys. We wanted to spend time with philosophers of magic. So we got together with people like Eugene Berger and Robert Neal. They'd met at Mystery School, and out of Mystery School came the book, Magic and Meaning. And that book is now an annual conference that we hold. The Magic and Meaning Conference is now in its 15th year. And it's like the TED Talks of magic. We were doing it, a long time ago. We were trying this thing so long ago. We used to have to tell people what the TED Talks were. That's how long we've been doing this. And spending time with philosophers of magic that have a really different point of view than just the showbiz edge of magic. That magic is, as Tenkai say, magic is not tricks, it is a way. It's a way of experiencing the world. And we gathered at Mystery School teachers like Charles Reynolds, who was Doug Henning's consultant and extraordinary photographer and writer on magic, and Orman McGill, who wrote the book, Real Mental Magic, about, you can have flap envelopes, you can have nail writers, but how about trying it for real? How about in a question and answer act, people asking their questions and you giving them a real answer? And, how about trusting your intuition and actually, putting your heart and soul into it? And that's what Orman McGill brought to us. And Channing Pollock, he was an extraordinary performer. And one of the things that he said is that you can tell the skill of a magician by not just their successes, but how they handle the mistakes, how they move through life and how they move through the stage. If anything occurs that should throw them out of their flow, how do they redirect their flow to get back into the flow of the show? And each of these teachers brought, somewhat of their treasures and their wisdom to the table. And we passed that tradition on at Mystery School, both in our live classes here in Las Vegas. And for the past 11 years, we've been streaming every week with an hour episode on a different topic with different masters and talk about secrets. You won't find this stuff on YouTube or anywhere. It's behind a firewall. You have to come to us and find it. Everybody comes to our live classes, signs a secrecy agreement that says they won't put the stuff on YouTube and they won't publish the stuff. So we really feel that Mystery School is one of the last bastion of actual secret keeping. Eugene used to, kids, next to government workers, magicians are the worst secret keepers. So we experimented at the early mystery schools over 30 years ago about secret keeping. And, how about not publishing some material? And how about no, when I perform this, you can't video it. And it's only performed live, and it's only performed for the people at the experience, because that's when the real magic happens. I mean, there's so much magic in the social media and the media now, and it's all squished down to a little two-dimensional frame. And it's really just, an intellectual puzzle, 99% of it. So we wanted to explore magic that really explores the soul and the spirit of magic, and explore magic as a metaphor, that magic is visual metaphor, and that the symbols of magic point beyond the tricks to the great mysteries of life. And those things are very rarely be able to be conveyed in words.
That reminds me of, I got my degree in painting. That's what I wanted to go to college for. So I went to school to learn how to paint portraits. And one of the critiques, somebody was asking me to explain the work. And I said, well, I would be a writer in that case. Instead, I painted. So look at it. So the visual metaphor of magic, rather than what can be explained empirically, it's a poor stand-in to talk about it when you could experience it. Which kind of reminds me of, you've been a proponent of be ready all the time to be magic, not just do tricks, but be a person of magic all the time. So after all those years, are you still of that mind? Do you still share magic with folks at the checkout line? What's your read there?
I am always ready to perform magic when I feel that it is appropriate. And I will often get permission, because I've I've had times in my life where I burst into magic and it's not well accepted because person, has maybe contrary beliefs to magic. I remember traveling in certain parts of the world where magic is feared. It's not. However, there's an interesting thing that I've learned from other travelers. In countries where there's a bit of a wide range of beliefs around the word magic, if you say, no, I do television magic, they go, oh, you do television magic. That's different than ritual or ceremonial magic or shamanic magic. We see television magic on a phone, and this kind of, for some reason, makes it safe because it's contained in this little box or in a little phone. So that's interesting. But I always ask permission these days. Would you like to see a piece of magic? Or I am a magician and I'd like to give you a gift of magic. Would you like to receive this? Because I respect people's boundaries, because I've overstepped them in the past and learned the lesson on ask permission. So yes, I'm ready. And I'm not just like dancing around, producing playing cards as I dance down the aisles. That's a fun thing too. However, you learn from history, Alexander Herman and, creating these little spontaneous pieces of magic. Slidini would sit at a table alone and notice that people would watch him from a distance, and he would pick up a pack of cigarettes and crush it. There'd be nothing in it and throw it down, and then reach up and produce a cigarette, and then the matches, and then go into a little cigarette routine and make the cigarette disappear and then walk away, where people didn't quite know that he was a magician. There was just a little slice of life. So he would do these things where he would bend reality. these like bending reality moments. And, we've seen a lot of this with street magic in the last, the rise of the street magic thing, the last 25 years or so, these kind of spontaneous moments of magic. And you see the Carbonaro effect. That's a really wonderful thing, and Michael Carbonaro was the youngest person ever to attend the original mystery schools. You had to be 18 and he was 17 and his parents gave him permission. And Eugene said, this young guy has something. And that's where he debuted his shaving dream routine, which he closes his show. He debuted it there. It was the first time he'd ever done it. So, we nurture a lot of young magicians over the years coming to our school. People like Matt Franco was 12 years old when he came here to one of our classes. And again, got special permission and came with his parents to Vegas because he was really serious. So, magic, I am always ready, willing, and able to do magic. I always leave the house with 2 decks of cards and my everyday carry stuff. I'll carry a deck of cards for split fans, and I'll carry a nice deck of Phoenix cards for more formal stuff, and some, maybe some coins. And I always have bills, and I have some kind of wallet magic in my phone that I carry with me. Yeah, because there's 2 choices. You can be ready, or you can go, oh, I left everything at home. And that's why, we really encourage our students to learn, different body magic, different finger magic, arm twister, the ear penetration, anything they can do with absolutely nothing. And then, of course, impromptu magic. And both Eugene and I really believe that the magician that could do the most with the least wins.
And I like that distinction between sharing the gift and not being the dancing monkey attention seeker who can't have genuine connection with other people and can only communicate by magic.
Well, magic is also a way to open people up, to conversation. And you can either perform tricks at people or use the magic as a medium for communication and get more conversation. There's people that are really good at this. Kenton Nepper is really good at using magic as a conversational tool. And I think you should have him on the show if he hasn't been on the show already, because he understands symbols and metaphors and magic. And I was talking with him the other day. He's going to be one of our featured speakers at the Magic and Meaning conference. And, he uses magic to, liberate people and to enlighten people and to transform. And I think people often forget that magic can be a real healing for people instead of just eye candy. And there's different intentions magicians might have. Some people just want to blow the audience away and kill them. That's what you see, precision made gimmick, 9 killer routines, blow their minds, melt their minds. It's like, okay, if that's your intention, okay, that's one way to go about this thing. And, but there are different approaches to magic for different situations. And it's being able to read the room and be able to give people kind of what they need. One of my rules of thumb is comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable.
I like that.
And we could talk about that all day. If people are a little bit too jaded, you want to rock their world.
I like that a lot. It kind of in that uncomfortable vein, if you could armchair psychoanalyze, what would be your guess for why magicians are so uncomfortable moments of transformation and magic? When you see somebody undercut amazing power and then self-depreciate or try to blow it off as a joke when it could really have some impact there.
I think it often boils down to the setting and the expectation. When you're in social space with people, like at a restaurant or a family party, you're kind of in this two-way street. However, if the magician decides to ritualize the magic and to create a special space for the magic, either with words alone can do it, but also using certain properties and setting to light a candle, to light incense, to transform the audience's expectation of the magic, of the expectation of the magic through ritualizing the magic. And I think many magicians don't approach magic as a ritual because maybe they don't understand it or have had a proper experience with it, or have seen an exemplar really create magical space the way Eugene did just by rolling out his little carpet and lighting his candle. He created ritual space so he could talk about the big picture of life, the endless transformations of life, death, and rebirth, all in this little playlet with a piece of thread. But he ritualized it, and he did that with his words, and he did that with his movements, and just the way he handled his properties. And I think if magicians studied theater and they studied ritual theater more, they'd feel more comfortable owning the magic instead of deflecting it with little jokes or self-depreciation. But, that comes with time. And it also comes with spending time face to face in the company of masters. And that's really why we started Mystery School, is because we really, the people that were the core group of it, like Tobias Beckwith and myself and my wife, Abigail, we wanted to learn, from people that had been much further down the road, what is possible with magic. And if people want to, study this, there are wonderful books. There's last couple of books that were written by Eugene Berger and Larry Haas, Eugene Berger from Beyond, and the other book that Eugene Berger's Final Secrets, that Larry and Eugene wrote these books in 7 years in secret. No one knew that they were happening, and they were to be released after Eugene's death. And, they talk about in these books how to create this relationship with your audience. And many people put the trick first, and Larry Haas, who's the dean of the Magic and Mystery School now, after Eugene passed, Eugene didn't want his wand broken. He wanted it passed on to Dr. Larry Haas to carry his teachings forward. And Larry says something very important. He says, the fundamental business of every magic show is relationship building. What's the quality of the relationship with the people across the table or filling the arena? What is your relationship with these people? And the magic can either get in the way and you can hide behind it, or it can be this medium that bridges this gap between the performer and they're not really an audience, they're participants. Audiences are audio, spectators spectate, but participants are part of it. And magic, yes, is theater, but as soon as you say, good evening, my friends, they are part of the experience. They're not like theater spectators or a theater audience, that the people are participating in this experience. And the magician has to be a good guide for them and needs to give the audience their role in the show. And that's something I've been experimenting, for the last 20 years, is really empowering the audience to participate in the show, not just watch the show, that they should feel part of something and feel transformed when they walk out and at a different level of appreciating magic, and know that they had a magical experience that was extraordinary because it was personal. Even if it was in a collective of thousands of people in an audience, people have this collective kind of experience and catharsis sometimes through a magic show. You see it happen at rock concerts. You see it today, everything from Coldplay concerts to Rammstein concerts. People immersed in the energy of what's happening in the spectacle. And the magician has that possibility, even with a pack of cards and a few well-chosen words.
Yeah, relationships are our most powerful resource in life. And I still haven't found a better tool to create them than the experience of magic. And in the last 8 minutes that we've got, how did you stumble into this, right? What set you on your path of seeking out secrets rather than using this as a tool of self-aggrandizement. Look how cool I am. Look what I can do. And more of there's something behind the curtain here that goes beyond the mechanics. What is that?
Well, I think when we explore magic, we get different things out of it at different times in our lives. Yes, when I was a kid, it was a way of getting attention. And, when you're a teenager, it's able to get like girls interested in you and like getting status from, your peers. And then later on, it becomes, wow, I can travel the world doing this stuff. And it does feed the ego, of course. And when I was in my 20s, I was working Vegas. I was opening for Diana Ross in Las Vegas. And then I was headlining shows in Vegas. And I was wondering, is this it? And then I started studying, the writings of people like Alan Watts and Ram Dass and I fell in with a group of people that were studying, spiritual mysteries and the Western Hermetic tradition. And I started reading some books, and then I met Eugene, and it shifted and said, oh, magic can be more than just tricks. Magic can be this way of self-exploration. And there's this bigger world, this capital M magic out there. And I really needed to meet ritual elders, people that were guides for me, and people that I respected had accomplished not only success in the commercial world, but also they were very solid and spiritual people as well, that had a good understanding of life and how to live it instead of just being pushed to get more famous. So that something shifted in me in my mid-20s, and then studying with Eugene and all of the other people that came through the mystery school was a way for me to deepen my understanding of this art. So, and now, I turn 63 this week, and I'm at a very different place in my life. I still tour internationally. I'm out of the country, usually 1 week a month, but the rest of the time I'm here working with students one-on-one or in small groups, or I do mentoring online every day with people all over the world. And it's not just competition acts. I mean, this year was a very good year for our mystery school students. Two of our students, Anka and Luca, I've been working with for 3 years. They won first place gold medal in mental magic at FISM. A Russian manipulator started with my videotapes, 25 years ago. His name is Artem, and he won manipulation. Daryl Rogers has been my student for about 5 years. He won first place at Abbott's. Another mentorship student, Scott Hademan, got second place at Abbott's. My other student, Tetro, got second place at the Close-Up and won Strolling Magician of the Year at the Magic Castle. See, and I'm very proud of these students because, as I learned from Eugene, the role and the goal of the teacher is to help students transcend the teacher and to become better than the teacher. I mean, that's when the teaching is effective. But I work with people that aren't just like competitors. I work with people that are doctors and lawyers and accountants and politicians. And I work with men and women and some young people in their teens. And everybody has different goals. But one of the things they want to do is level up and understands that they can have a life in magic, whether they do it as a profession or if they just do it professionally, like on a professional level. Now, I have one student, John McLaughlin, who is not a full-time magician. However, his repertoire, the effect selection, his scripting, execution, I'll put him up against anybody. There's a guy, David Morey. They work together at John and David Morey worked together at Washington Magic. They host this top-notch show at a very elegant venue. It's a dinner show in Washington. And David is a, campaign strategist. And he's, one of these guys you see on CNN talking about, the political situations. He's a, political analyst. And his magic, he takes that work ethic of his and he pours it into his show, and his performance is as on a high level as anybody, that's a full-time professional. So I work a lot with people that may not be doing it full-time, or maybe they will when they retire. But everybody, I think, wants to deepen their understanding. And I think your listeners are people that, are not on TikTok right now. They're not on Instagram uploading their picture of their soup. They want to deepen their understanding of magic. And, I would recommend that, your listeners come over to magicalwisdom.com and look around our site. We have nearly 600 hours of different subjects, everything from close-up magic, touring, packing, special interviews with, David Copperfield and Lance Burton and all of the stars here in Vegas. And of course, Matt Franco. But we have very, very detailed subjects like on social media strategy, on, working outdoors, doing street magic, working for young audiences, episodes on working for difficult audiences, packing and touring tips, working with music, audio, and 600 different subjects. And it's all there. And you can join the Magic and Mystery School online for as little as $30 a year. We make it accessible. And for all of our classes, online and in person, we offer scholarships. So if people say, oh, I don't have the money, well, we have scholarship because we have a very gift-oriented student base that donates to the scholarship fund. So people that need to have a financial assistance can get that. Oh, I don't have the time to show up live at an online class. We record all of the classes. So if you sign up, you can watch them on demand. And, we are here to make the world a better place, one magician at a time.
Huge thank you again to Jeff for sharing his time and thoughts with the show. If you are even halfway interested in the school that he's got there, I highly recommend that you go check it out. And if you want to find out more about this show, head to symbolsandsecrets.com, where you can find all the episodes that we've got. And if you want to join the community, get direct access to others working in the same direction as you, head to symbolsandsecrets.com/secret, and you'll get early access to episodes and other resources that will help you along your path. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, tell your friends, share the love. If you didn't enjoy what you heard, I'm impressed that you made it this far, and you should probably go tell your enemies about it. They deserve it. Either way, thank you so much for your attention. I'm your host, Jonathan Pritchard. See you in the next episode.